Hi, everyone, and welcome to our Data Science Dojo informational webinar. I see that people are still joining the call, so we'll give it another minute or so to start this session. And for those of you who just joined, welcome. We'll start momentarily. Would you mind listening with the headphones just to make sure that the quality through the Hi, everyone, and welcome to Data Science Dojo's live information session on our Data Science and Data Engineering Bootcamp. I'm Blair Heckel, and I'm the Senior Marketing Manager here at Data Science Dojo, and I will be moderating today's webinar. So before we begin the webinar, I'd just like to mention that all lines will be muted for the duration of the call, but questions are encouraged. To ask a question, use the questions module on the right side of your screen. Moving on to today's agenda, I will provide a brief introduction about Rebecca and myself and then jump right into the presentation. We will save time at the end of the webinar to ask questions, and in the event that we do not have enough time to answer all questions, please feel free to reach out to us at help@datasciencedojo.com about the information session, and Rebecca or I will be happy to answer them. We ask that you please participate, as this will allow us to ensure that all of your questions are answered about our data science training. So jumping into just a little bit about myself, I'm the Senior Marketing Manager at Data Science Dojo. I've worked here for about 3 years now, and I'm in charge of all marketing initiatives and campaigns, as well as teach the A/B testing module. And then Rebecca, who we have here, she is one of our data scientists and lead instructors. She will also be answering some of your questions. Rebecca has been with our company for over a year now, and she is in charge of the content from the curriculum to hands-on labs to coding exercises, and you can find some of her free tutorials online. And then jumping into the agenda about today's presentation. So I'm going to cover a little bit about Data Science Dojo, who we are and what we do, a little bit about the different offerings we have, as well as our philosophy. I'll then dive into a little bit about the boot camp. So we'll cover the schedule, logistics, timing, when is the boot camp going to be held, when should you show up, and then curriculum, which Rebecca will cover and show you a sneak peek of our learning platform. We'll also cover pricing and payment plans and other methods of payment, which I'm sure some of you guys are curious about, and also discounts as well. And then who can attend? So I'm sure some of you have questions about, am I a good fit for the boot camp? I don't have any programming experience. Can I still attend? So we will cover those questions as well. And then once you've decided, okay, I'm ready, I think I want to sign up for the boot camp, how do I register? So we will walk you through the registration process and what to expect once you've signed up for the course. And then post boot camp. So what are some other things that we offer post boot camp for your continued learning? So just a little bit about Data Science Dojo. We were founded in August 2014 by our CEO and Chief Data Scientist, Raja. Raja has a background working for Microsoft. He actually has a PhD in computer science, and he worked for Microsoft working for Bing algorithms and search. And after working there for a while, he realized that what he really liked was teaching. So he kind of brought his trainings together, some of his corporate trainings, to create a boot camp. And so our motto now is data science for everyone. And what we really aspire to is to make data science more accessible to everyone, to really democratize data science, regardless of who you are, your job title, your background, your education. We really want to make data science accessible for everyone. And then in addition to our boot camps, we also offer different workshops, corporate on-site training, if you're interested, customized training, and community events that we organize globally. And you can learn more about our bootcamp at datasciencedojo.com/data-science-bootcamp. And then just to take a sneak peek at our global footprint, we have trained over 4,000 working professionals in over 1,000 companies globally. And this is across 21 cities globally. We've trained companies and employees from Microsoft, Boeing, the World Bank, Amazon, Accenture, and so on. And in addition to our boot camps and corporate trainings, we also hold community talks and meetups. So you'll find that we have 10 different meetup communities across the world, and it's okay if you're not located in those cities, because we do offer live webinars and live streams of our meetups as well. And then going back to our philosophy, so our motto is data science for everyone, because we really believe that anyone can learn data science. You do not need a PhD to learn data science or to take our boot camp. We really believe that everyone should and can learn data science. Again, regardless of your background, your education, your job title, or industry experience. We really try to lower the barriers for everyone to learn data science. And it's really all about understanding the fundamentals and the underlying concepts behind those tools and techniques, the how and the why and the where. Where can I apply this data science skill to my current job? One thing that is different about us from other boot camps is that we promise, or actually we don't promise, to turn people into data scientists. Actually, I would say that no boot camp can. That's really dependent on your experience, your education, your additional training, and real world practical experience. With only 50 hours of training, there's only so much you can learn. But we really try to get people hands-on with the fundamentals of data science, to be able to go back and work on real-world projects, either during the boot camp or immediately after, and deliver impact. So once our attendees complete the boot camp, they are expected to get started with applying these skills within a week. They will have enough of an understanding to start attacking a real-world problem, and then leave inspired and excited about the discipline. And then what makes us different? So I'm sure that some of you on the call have been shopping around. Maybe you're looking at other boot camps or other online trainings or certifications. One thing that's different about us is that we're in person versus online. And I would actually consider us a blended learning experience. We kind of have a 3-step process where once you register, you get access to your learning platform immediately. And that is where you'll have your pre-boot camp coursework, which is to be completed online prior to the training. You have your 50 hours of in-person training, and then you have an additional 20 hours of optional post-boot camp coursework for your continued learning. But it's really that in-person experience that allows you to ask questions, get that one-on-one feedback that you wouldn't have in an online capacity. And then it also allows you to hear questions from other folks from different industries. They might ask questions that you wouldn't even think of. So it's really great to learn from other folks and also to network as well. You'll also note that our duration is only 1 week versus 8 to 12 weeks. And that's because we've really designed this boot camp with working professionals in mind. we realize 1 week is still quite a bit of time to take off from work, but it's, just short enough that you can fit it into your schedule. Most folks can fit 1 week into their schedule out of a year. So we really try to make it so that, working professionals can take this short duration intensive training and then go back and apply the tools and techniques that they've learned to their current job. And then faculty. So our instructors have actual industry experience, and I'll introduce our instructors a little bit later. But as I mentioned with Raja, he has a PhD in computer science. He has worked in Bing search algorithms. So you'll get to know your instructors later. They do teach at the boot camp as well as work on real-world consulting data science projects. And then again, our target audience is mainly working professionals. However, if you are thinking of, jumpstarting your career in data science, or maybe just getting an understanding of the fundamentals, this is also a great course for you. Again, as I said, we don't promise to turn anyone into a data scientist, but this is a really great way to get, a fundamental understanding and to get that hands-on experience if you do want to continue your education or you do want to start your career in data science. And then cost. I'm sure some of you who are shopping around, cost is of concern to you. Because our bootcamp is short-term, the cost of our bootcamp is just a fraction of what other bootcamps are. And I'll also dive into that in a little bit later. And then I wanted to bring up reviews here. So as you saw previously, we have trained over 4,000 working professionals from over 1,000 companies globally. And some of our attendees have been kind enough to share their experience in a video or just through a written testimonial. So if you're curious about whether this bootcamp is right for you, I would encourage you to take a look at some of those video reviews. You would find people from all different types of job titles, companies, experience levels who have taken the boot camp and were satisfied with what they've learned and have gone on to start new projects. And then if you are looking for other reviews, we are one of the highest rated data science boot camps in the industry. So you can also find us on SwitchUp and Course Report. And then success stories or case studies. So this is Patrick here. Patrick is really an interesting case study because he had signed up for our data science bootcamp in Chicago back in April 2017. And at the time, he wasn't really sure if this was right for him. He didn't have any programming experience, certainly no experience with R, but he registered the Friday before the boot camp. And by the end of the boot camp, he was able to start on a real world project at his company and also go on to win the Kaggle competition that's held during the boot camp. So that's kind of neat. And then you can see with his success story, based on that project that he was able to work on during the boot camp, he was able to build a prototype that alone helped his company save over 6 figures a year, as well as 50 hours a week in work hours. So you can check out Patrick's story at datasciencedojo.com/bootcamp/stories. Okay, so jumping into the anatomy of a bootcamp, I think I briefly mentioned this before, but we have a sort of a 3-step learning process where once you're registered for the bootcamp, you'll have access to your learning portal immediately. And so that is where you'll find all of your pre-bootcamp coursework, which includes 4 modules, which are Introduction to R Programming, Introduction to Azure Machine Learning, Fundamentals of Data Mining, and Introduction to Big Data, Data Science, and Predictive Analytics. In your learning portal, you'll also have access to your pre-bootcamp checklist, which gives you all of the items you'll need to bring and install prior to the bootcamp, and your pre-bootcamp survey. So just kind of let us know, how did you hear about us? Do you have any dietary restrictions? Is there anything you need to make us aware of prior to the training? And then the boot camp. So this is your intensive 5-day learning experience that runs from Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then your post-bootcamp coursework. So again, this is also online, but you'll have about 20 hours of optional post-bootcamp coursework, which is, you just have activities designed to keep you engaged. So you'll have more exercises, more recorded videos, and so on. And then going back to the pre-bootcamp coursework, so getting ready. The purpose of this is so that it helps you with prerequisites. We actually don't have any prerequisites. It's nice to have knowledge of at least one programming language, but it's definitely not necessary. I would say most of our attendees are somewhere along the lines of analysts, maybe business analysts, project, program, product managers, and so on. And we've also had doctors, lawyers, basically anybody who has data that they need to better analyze and understand in order to make data-driven decisions. So we give you those pre-bootcamp materials to help catch you up to speed for those 5 days of training. And then your in-person bootcamp. So it's going to be a long week for sure, but you really get a lot out of it. And if you take a look at our curriculum and our syllabus, which you can download, you'll see that it's a good mix of theory, hands-on discussion, hands-on labs, and exercises. And again, it's 5 days from Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. You will have I would say about 2 hours of daily homework. But it goes by quickly, and you also have your peers that you can work on your homework with after class. And then there's the in-class Kaggle competition. So what students will do is everything that they've learned each day, they will go back and apply to their predictive model. And then whoever predictive model has the highest accuracy at the end of the boot camp wins a special prize. Actually, the top 3 winners get a special prize. And then here I'm just kind of showing you what's included. What can you expect at the bootcamp? So breakfast, lunch, and snacks are provided throughout all 5 days. We make sure that there's coffee, tea, beverages, and snacks provided to keep you guys fueled. It's a long day, and we do want you guys to be comfortable. And then your course material. So you can see in the middle photo here, we have your 4 Data Science Dojo lab manuals. You'll get a backpack, journal, mug, charger in case you forgot yours at home. Some people do. So yeah, we wanted to make sure that you guys are comfortable during the 5 days. And then based on the package you purchase, if you purchase the Guru or Sensei package, you'll see those 3 textbooks in the middle. So those are also to help facilitate your learning post-bootcamp. And then again, if you register for the Guru or the Sensei package, you will be invited to a networking dinner with your peers. So you can see the photo on the right. It's just a good way to get to know each other, talk about data science, what do you guys do, how do you plan on applying what you've worked on, and just make friends because it's a long week and you're sitting next to each other for 5 days. So it's great to get to know each other and build that networking relationship. And post-bootcamp. So depending on the package you've purchased, if you purchase the Sensei package, you will have mentoring for a Kaggle competition. So this post-bootcamp Kaggle competition is actually based on a live data set. So during the bootcamp, you and your peers would be working on the sample Titanic data set, who died, who survived. But post-bootcamp, you guys would be working on an actual live business problem that you would be helping businesses trying to solve. And I think one of our groups ended up in the top 6%, I believe. So they actually done pretty well. And if you do win, you get a special prize. And as I mentioned, there's more learning through the online portal, about 20 hours or so, and Rebecca will go over that as well. And aside from learning, we do offer other alumni networking opportunities and more educational resources. So you'll have access to your alumni LinkedIn group. You'll have access to your cohort's chat forum, which is really great. You can talk to your peers before, during, and even after your boot camp because your access to chat never expires. And then we'll also have additional webinars, tutorials, and talks and meetups. And then what I'm showing here is your certificate of completion. So this is just a sample certificate. It does not represent official academic credit, but you can place it on your LinkedIn. And now I will introduce some of our instructors. All right, so front and center, right in the middle, we have our CEO and Chief Data Scientist, Raja Iqbal. He is the main instructor for all boot camps and generally covers days 1 through 4. As I mentioned, Raja has worked at Microsoft Bing and Bing Ads in various research and development roles in data science and machine learning. And then we have bottom right, we have Rebecca Merritt, who's on the call with me. She covers text analytics and A/B testing. She's also in charge of creating content for our courses, our curriculum, handouts, labs, assignments, and other exercises. And you can even view her free tutorials on our tutorial site. We also have Tarun, who's at the top. Tarun is one of our data scientists and instructors. He is a seasoned professional in marketing research and analytics. He has an experience of more than a decade in analytics on political campaigns, consumer behavior, and CPG industry. Tarun leads our content development and analytics at Data Science Dojo, and he holds a master's degree in business analytics from Seattle University. And then we have Arham, who is our business analyst and is also at most of our boot camps. You can find him walking around, checking in on students and helping them out with our code. And he also covers data visualization, K-means, and big data engineering. And then I'm Blair, so you can find me at the bottom. So I tend to be at some of the boot camps as well, and I cover A/B testing. And then jumping into the curriculum, I'm going to pass the mic over to Rebecca, who's going to walk you through the pre-boot camp material, the boot camp, post-boot camp material, and then give you a sneak peek of our learning platform.
Hey folks, thanks Blair for that great introduction, just covering all the main stuff that you probably want to know. But let's just get into the guts of it. So we'll break up our material into, pre-boot camp, which helps you hit the ground running when you arrive to the boot camp. And we have our, obviously our intensive 10 hours a day training. And we also want you to practice further. So we have our post-boot camp material as well. So I'll take you through the end-to-end process and what each module contains so you have a better understanding of what you're going to be doing once you enter the bootcamp, as well as how we can help you prepare and help you follow up and further practice what you've learned. So we don't want you to just simply attend a bootcamp and that's it. We want to prepare you, train you, and then have you further practice to really master your art, as they say. So let's have a look at the learning portal. Okay, great. All right, so this is our online learning portal, which you'll have access to once registering. It contains all our slides, coded examples, exercises, quizzes, worksheets to help understand, some of the theory and homework. It also includes our pre-bootcamp material and our post-bootcamp material as well. So here's an example of a module here. As you can see, we've organized all our material into an easy repository or learning platform, so you can access everything during the bootcamp when we're going through our classes and lessons. Okay, so let me first talk about pre-bootcamp. So this is kind of like how best to spend your hours before coming into the bootcamp so that you can kind of hit the ground running and absorb as much as you can during the 5-day training. So first of all, we teach you, the basic syntax and programming concepts required to easily implement our models and work with data in R. And we also have a kind of visual interface way of modeling using Azure ML. And this helps those quickly prototype a model or do an analysis without having to get too bogged down by syntax. So we introduce Azure ML and how to get started with using this tool as an option as well. We look at big data, data science, and predictive modeling concepts, some fundamentals behind this. This includes an overview of some key types of modeling techniques. So the key ones that you might have come across, obviously, is classification, regression, clustering, could be association analysis, anomaly detection, and the like. So we kind of give you an overview of those kind of things before you start the bootcamp. So now let's kind of get into the bootcamp modules covered as this is the core bit. So we start off with data exploration and visualization. And that's really quite core, actually. For some, it might be a kind of refresher on the more insights analysis, inspecting, data variables side of things. But we teach you to visually tell a story. So you're building your models already informed about what your data is saying, so you can guide your feature selection. Or you might want to look at what could be some potential problems in modeling some of the data and so on. So you really need to understand your data first in order to best model it. And it's not just simple as looking at correlations. You kind of need to go beyond that. So you need to make sure you have, carefully looked at all angles of your data and not just overlooked anything because you didn't know how to fully inspect it first. And then we kind of get onto predictive modeling, or predictive analytics and classification. And this is very core again. We explain, how to model your data to predict an outcome using a classification decision tree as an example. So we show you how to implement this, but also understand the underlying algorithm and how a model is able to come up with its decision, and also address any issues with the model to improve performance. And then we kind of get on to evaluating our predictive model. So once you've built your model, you need a way to measure if it's worked well or if it hasn't, if it was able to predict most cases correctly, or if it predicted most cases incorrectly. So we take you through the model evaluation process. So for example, when it comes to classification, very common ways to evaluate, obviously, precision recall and the F1 score. And you'll learn more about these during the bootcamp and how to interpret them properly. And we also look at how to make your models more robust through things like cross-validation, introducing more randomization. And we break down how these techniques work during the bootcamp. So we also look at ensemble methods. And this is really cool, actually. We look at combining models to boost the predictive power of your model. So this is just another way to improve your modeling, to combine the best of both techniques. And this could include averaging the results of multiple decision trees, for example, or further randomizing and allowing it to be more adaptable and generalized for any given data or situation. We also look at parameter tuning, and this is an interesting one. It's kind of looking at different configuration options when modeling and how they affect the outcome or prediction performance. So for example, if you're combining multiple decision trees, you might look at the number of trees and how deep the trees are and things like that. So these are the things that are obviously going to affect the final outcome or predictive accuracy. And we also look at regression, for example. So this is, taking you through a very common modeling technique to map your data back to a numeric type outcome or prediction. We go through a really interesting example of trying to predict house prices in certain suburbs. And text analytics here. This is one of the modules that I cover, as well as online A/B testing and unsupervised. So we have been dealing with the kind of structured data throughout the bootcamp, but when we get onto text analytics, a lot of the data online is actually text-based, really. So nearly every single web page has some text on it. So it's worth adding this to your data science toolkit. So with text, there's a lot of opportunity to mine text out there, but it doesn't, come in a table format. So what would be worth learning is understanding how to mine this kind of non-tabular data. And so we teach you how to first process this data, model it, and for understanding of how programs can get meaning out of the text. Okay, recommender systems. So another core one here. So this is also really worth learning about. So we learn how to, look at the similarity between, say, user preferences or just any kind of interesting data attributes. So we go through, techniques to compare how similar or dissimilar subjects are to each other in order to recommend similar subjects. A/B testing, let's probably go on to this one here. So this is really common in marketing or product development. And you need to know how to properly, set up a fair experiment, as well as how to test different options using the right techniques. And we also go through kind of hypothesis testing. So This is just to see if an option results in a significant difference to another option. And we look at the metrics for A/B testing as well, and we go through some kind of real-world practical examples. Unsupervised learning, let's get onto that one. So unsupervised learning with K-means is about working with unlabeled data, where most of the time in the real world, your data might not always be labeled. So you need to apply the appropriate technique to be able to handle that. And we explain, some of the underpinnings of the algorithm, as well as how to implement this as a useful example in R. So this technique can work out the underlying classes without having to map the data back to a class label, or just look at the underlying structure of the data. And we also hold a Kaggle competition in class. So the homework is all about practicing and implementing your skills, and that we coach you through trying to get the best model you can get. So when you submit to the competition, you have gone through the problems and concepts properly to be able to improve on your modeling. And this is a great way to kind of dive deep and really practice what you've learned each day. Big data engineering with distributed systems. So this is kind of different to looking at modeling, but it's a really important component in the work of a data scientist engineer in particular. So if you're dealing with, I would say, terabytes levels of data, which can often be the case in many company or real world industry, you need a basic understanding of the storage and the server requirements to hold your data. So we go through the tools like Hadoop and MapReduce and Hive in setting up nodes to distribute the data load across many nodes. So you don't end up killing your processing when you're trying to analyze on huge data sets. And event hubs and things like this. So event ingestion and stream processing. So this is to do with Azure Stream Analytics. And we go through a practical exercise of filtering out interesting data from, say, credit card streaming or Twitter data to look at, recent time windows or time grabs of recent data streaming into Azure's platform. And we take that stream data and filtering out sort of possibly extreme values of interest or anything that picks up an event or pattern. And I might mention some of our post-bootcamp stuff here as well. So we do hand over a couple more algorithms to further practice your skills, and we have extra coding exercises and tutorials for this. So one of them is like naive Bayes, which is a pretty simple algorithm used for kind of simple data sets, but it can be really effective in solving many business problems out there. So we look at the Bayes approach to modeling. We look at some, probability theory and modeling your data. And the other one is logistic regression, which is yet another humble but effective technique in solving many business problems. So most of the time you might want to predict a true or false, yes or no binary class. And this, technique is designed for this. So there are many applications for predicting a binary class of, say, loyal customers versus non-loyal customers, or successful applicants versus non-successful applicants and the like. So you can target the right class that is more likely to do good for your business and spend more time on that class or people or subjects. And we're also launching a new webinar series for continued learning after the bootcamp, where we'll schedule an advanced topic or walkthrough exercise to help you keep mastering your skills and introduce you to a variety of techniques and problem sets. So you can jump online and continue your learning after the bootcamp with a real person who will walk you through it. And we're offering this to our students who sign up to the bootcamp, and we'll also record these. And I think that pretty much sums up our curriculum. So I'll hand it back to Blair, but fire away with any questions and I'm happy to answer.
Hi there, sorry about that, just switching monitors. So thank you, Rebecca, so much for covering the curriculum. I hope you guys were able to digest all of that. That was quite a bit of information there. But if you do have any questions about the curriculum, feel free to share your questions in the chat or reach out to us at help@datasciencedojo.com. Additionally, you can schedule a call with Rebecca and she's happy to walk you through the curriculum again. Okay, and then a couple of questions we get facing the curriculum, which is, can I use Python instead of R? So our bootcamp is taught mainly in R and a combination of R and Azure. So we would highly encourage that you complete the bootcamp in R and then go back and review the material again and try it again in Python. It's just that there is limited support in Python, although we do offer mirrored Python scripts if you are more comfortable with Python. But I would just say, go ahead and complete the bootcamp in R. Based on the package you purchase, you would get recorded lectures in some of your packages in your learning portal, which means essentially you can complete the bootcamp again once you go home. So if you have any questions about that, again, I would encourage you to complete the bootcamp in R, but feel free to ask Rebecca if you have any questions about that. And then some people ask, what if my company doesn't use R or Azure? We really try and teach the bootcamp from understanding the fundamentals and the underlying concepts. So we really try not to focus on tools or any specific software. We choose R because technically, or I would say we choose R because it lowers the barriers for people to learn a programming language and to do data science. And same with Azure. It just has a really nice interface for people who are just getting started with data science and machine learning. But we really try not to focus on the tools that we use. We try and focus on the underlying concepts. And then what are some of the hands-on labs? I would definitely take a look at our bootcamp syllabus, which you can find here. That will show each of the different modules broken up between lectures and labs. And then pricing. I know some of you have been waiting for this, so let's just jump into it. So pricing, for most of our boot camps, we offer 3 different packages, and you can find them here. So they are Dojo, Guru, and Sensei. For those different locations, for some of those different packages, I'll dive into those in a little bit. But just for the main boot camps, we offer 3 boot camp packages. And at full price, they range from $3,800 to $4,500. And you can kind of think of these packages as add-ons. So what do I get in addition to the 5-day training? So for example, our Dojo package, I would say that this is our most basic package. Maybe you know quite a bit about data science, but you're just looking for a little bit of additional material. You don't need a ton of, hands-on mentoring or office hours. So it comes with the 5-day training, your learning material, which includes your 4 Data Science Dojo lab manuals and access to the learning platform. It also comes with sample code, which is your access to the private Data Science Dojo GitLab, and then the Kaggle competition. So each attendee gets access to the Kaggle competition. They will be invited to participate in that competition. And then everyone also gets breakfast, lunch, and unlimited refreshments. And for the Dojo package specifically, you will get 1 month of access to the learning portal. And that begins on the last day of training. And then Guru. So this is our most popular package by far. So this is for kind of that person in between. You're not completely experienced with data science, and you're needing a little bit more information. So it comes with all of the items that the Dojo package includes, as well as an invitation to join the Data Science Dojo networking dinner that happens during the week. And instead of 1 month of access to the learning portal, you'll have 1 year of access. This also comes with a subscription to Azure in case you don't have that. And then it also comes with those 3 reference books that I showed you earlier, as well as the recorded lectures. So you can go home and take the bootcamp again from the comfort of your own couch. And deliberate practices. So these are additional exercises and labs for you to complete for your continued learning. And then the Sensei package, this is for someone who I would say is probably completely new to data science. So, or maybe they're trying to switch careers. And because we don't offer career services or job placement or help with interviews, what we do is we offer office hours. So these are 2 half-hour office hour sessions to be completed within 2 weeks of the boot camp. So you would meet with an instructor or a mentor and go over some of those concepts that maybe you were a little bit fuzzy on, that you need a little extra help with. And then the Sensei package also comes with mentoring for a data science project. So what this is a post-bootcamp Kaggle competition that I mentioned earlier. So instead of working on the Titanic data set, you would work on a publicly available data set that actually helps to solve a real-world business problem. So those are our main packages, Dojo, Guru, and Sensei. For other bootcamp locations, we've had to sort of split up our packaging due to post-secondary regulations in those cities. But for the most part, these are our 3 main packages. And then once we announce a bootcamp, we do offer discounts. So our early bird discounts are offered once we announce a location and we put it on our schedule. So we start off at 30% off, and these discounts are early bird. So that means that they're available on a first come, first served basis and are available in limited quantities. So if you have, let's say you're going through the approval process with your company, it's probably best to go through your company and request it at full price in case the discount changes during that approval process. We wouldn't be able to offer those steeper discounts later on. And then if you do come in with, say, a group, we do offer group discounts of 5% off. So if you have a team of 4 or more, we're happy to give you a 5% discount. And I think also if you have a group of 10 to 20, it's 10%. 21 to 30 is 20%, and then 31 plus is 30%. And if you're interested in sending your team to a training, feel free to reach out to me afterwards. I'm happy to talk to you about pricing. And then I've shared a link down below. So this is a bootcamp package comparison. So it kind of breaks down the packages even further. And you can also find photos and a deeper description of these items. And then Seattle, San Francisco, and Toronto. So these are separate. These are the different locations that would have different pricing. Think of it as the same product offering, but different pricing packages. And I'll dive into that in just a little bit. But so for example, for Seattle, Washington State has specific regulations. California has BPPE. And then Toronto has the Private Colleges Act of Ontario. So that's why our offerings are a little bit different than other markets we serve. Otherwise, you're looking at the same boot camp. And then for Seattle, instead of the Dojo package, we offer Dojo 2, Dojo 3, Guru, and Sensei. So for Dojo 2 and Dojo 3, think of it as this is the first 2 days of the boot camp and the last 3 days of the boot camp. So Dojo 2 is, I just want to learn the basics. What you can do is you'd be able to load data into R, explore it, and prep it for predictive modeling. You'd be able to train a classification model or ensemble and then determine the model's quality. And again, that's the first 2 days of the boot camp. And then Dojo 3 is, I know the basics, but I want to know more. So the focus is more on the mathematical intuition. So you would be learning regression, recommender systems, text analytics, clustering. And then on day 5, we'd also cover data engineering, cloud, Hadoop, and IoT. And again, those are the last 3 days of the boot camp. Although I would say if you're interested in the first 3 days or the last 2 days, we can do that as well. But we think that this structure is probably the best. So let's say some of you folks, maybe you can only take 2 days of the training at a time versus all 5 days. It's nice that you can take the 2 days in Seattle, the first 2 days, and then come back later on during the year and take the last 3 days, finish up that training. And then San Francisco. So currently we're undergoing California licensure approval. So we're not actually able to hold a training in California just yet. So we're going through the approval process and we're hoping to hear back soon. But for San Francisco, our packages would be a little bit different. It would be the same boot camp minus day 5. So this would actually be a 4-day training instead of a 5-day training. And then we offer 3 different packages, which are offered at less than 2,500. So you would be looking at the green belt, which is, again, days 1 through 2. So that could be compared with Dojo 2. You have brown belt, which is days 3 through 4, and then black belt, which is days 1 through 4. And again, I've included a couple links down at the bottom of this slide for you to sort of compare the packages here, as well as the curriculum. Again, it's the same curriculum, just minus day 5. And then Toronto. I think maybe some of you guys were confused. I know I'm a little bit confused as well, but hopefully this should clear things up. What we do is we've broken up the training into 5 separate days. So it's the same boot camp, it's the same curriculum. However, if you're interested in Toronto, you can register for each day separately or for all 5 days as the Guru package. And if you have any questions about that, again, feel free to reach out to us. We're more than happy to clarify further. And then some new programs. So we're really excited to announce some new programs that we're offering. Part of that includes Skills Future and Citrup Plus for Singapore, a new data science certificate in partnership with the University of New Mexico, some other corporate trainings, and then 2-day training in Seattle, which is coming soon. So Skills Future and Citrup Plus, you'll notice that if you are interested in the Singapore Bootcamp, we do offer the same Dojo Guru and Sensei packages, which are offered in US dollars. But also, if you are a Singapore citizen or a permanent resident, you may apply for this Citrup Plus funding. So this bootcamp package would be the Skills Future package and is in Singapore dollars. And what's really great about this is that citizens and permanent residents of Singapore may qualify to have their bootcamp supported by this government skills training program. Singapore is really a great environment because they're really all about upskilling their workforce. So if you do happen to live there, this might be something you'd want to consider. And we're trying to look into these different programs in other areas as well, because we understand how important it is to skill up the workforce. You know, the future is moving towards data and AI, so it's really important that everybody can learn these skills, and they should learn these skills. So if you have any questions about Singapore or Skills Future or Citrup, I've included a few links below. And then we also, if you take a look at our FAQs, if you go to ask.datasciencedojo.com, we do have a special section just for Skills Future. And again, what is the Skills Future Citrup Plus program? So this is the Critical Infocom Technology Resource Program Plus program. So it is a program under IMDA's Tech Skills Accelerator Initiative to support the ICT workforce in keeping pace with technology shifts through the continuous and proactive training of technical skill sets in order to remain relevant and productive. And then this link that I've included here takes you to the IMDA site, which tells you a bit more about, you know, which category do you fall into as far as, are you self-sponsored, or is your company sponsoring you? How, you know, how old are you? Where do you work? So this will tell you approximately how much funding you may receive. It's not a guaranteed amount of funding, but it's an estimated amount that you may be eligible for. And then also for Singapore, anybody can attend the Singapore Bootcamp. It doesn't matter where you live, where you're from. You can register for the Dojo, Guru, or Sensei package if you don't want to apply, or you can't apply for the Skills Future package. The Skills Future package only applies to the Singapore Bootcamp and is only for Singapore citizens and permanent residents. And then we also offer the same refund transfer policy for the Skills Future package. Pretty much everything else is standard for this package. And a little bit more information that we've included here. Because we are running out of time, I am going to skip this slide, but I will forward it to you if you guys are interested in this information. And we can also help set up a call with an advisor if you are looking to get some of that Skills Future Citrup Plus funding. Moving on to the data science certificate. So I know that there's some confusion here as well, but I want to make very clear that all boot camps that you take come with a certificate of completion. You know, the data science certificate with the University of New Mexico is in partnership with the University of New Mexico. So, you can continue your professional development with the university-backed data science certificate. So that sample certificate I showed you earlier would also have their logo on it as well. It's the same top-rated 5-day curriculum, similar pricing. Everything is pretty much standard. However, this is the only certificate and the only bootcamp at the University of New Mexico that is backed by an accredited university. And it also comes with 5 continuing education credits, which is really nice. I know specific companies and industries require you to continue your learning and require these continuing education credits. So this is also a great way to receive those credits. And some of our FAQs for the data science certificate. This does not give academic credit. We are not accredited as a boot camp, and this is part of the University of New Mexico continuing educational program. So it does not give academic credit, but it does give 5 continuing education credits. It's also the same boot camp, same discount policy, and same transfer and refund policy as well. And this is just an example of what that certificate would look like. And then corporate training. So some of you have probably inquired about on-site training. Maybe you're looking into something more customized or shorter term, and we can absolutely do that. We've done it for large companies, Microsoft, AT&T, World Bank. So we're happy to talk with you about corporate training and any customization you'd like involved. So we can deliver our standard 5-day data science bootcamp, or you can just pick and choose the modules that you think you would get the most benefit out of. And then we also offer a 2-day foundations of building a data-driven organization, which is more high level. It's non-technical. And I would say it's great for those program, project managers who just want a high level overview, or maybe somebody who manages a data science team. We also offer data science for UX, which includes online experimentation and A/B testing as well. Data science for product managers and data science for managers and business leaders. And all courses are customizable. If you have any specific requirements, maybe you want to focus on maybe your company uses a specific tool that we don't have in our standard bootcamp, that's totally fine. We can create the curriculum around your team's needs. And then our newest training, which is coming soon, is a 2-day data science training. So this would be a comprehensive data science course for non-programmers. So, a lot of people, maybe they aren't so technical at work. Maybe they really don't need to be that hands-on. But this training is specifically designed primarily to give you a head start in data science and data-driven decision-making. So again, this is great for business leaders, managers, marketing, program, product managers who want to learn the fundamentals and be able to communicate with those data science teams and work on those projects more cohesively. And then there are no prerequisites with this program because it has been designed specifically with those in mind who do not have any experience with programming or computer science background. And currently, this program is offered only in Seattle. Right now, we are looking tentatively at November 5th through 6th, and hopefully we'll have that on the schedule soon. And payment options, so full payment. If you are looking to register upfront, we accept all major credit cards. We accept PayPal, check, wire, and direct transfer. We also offer invoices or the ability to issue invoices. So if you maybe need approval from your company or somebody is going to pay on your behalf, just let us know. We're happy to issue an invoice, share the bootcamp you hope to attend, which package you're interested in, and who we can make the invoice out to. Just let us, and just a note that invoices are issued at full price due to long approval and payment processes, unless the invoice can be paid within 3 days. And that's just because our discounts are early bird, so there's no guarantee that the discount would last by the time there's approval. And then maybe you're on this call because you want to register for someone else. If you want to register for somebody else, that's totally fine. You can either go ahead and complete the registration as yourself, and then we'll update the registration later, or you can just send that information over to us and we can get them registered over the phone. And then some of you have asked about a CAGE code. Do we accept payments through the GI Bill or VA benefits? And unfortunately, no, we do not. We are not registered with the System Awards Management. And the only reason for that being is it's actually really unfortunate. So we are based out of Redmond, Washington, and we travel to all of our different boot camp locations. And so to be approved for SAM, we would have to have a physical presence in each of these locations and hold our trainings at our physical office. So mainly we rent out training facilities or hotels where we have the boot camp. So that's really the only reason. One workaround is taking the boot camp at the University of New Mexico. So this boot camp, this curriculum is currently in the approval process to accept the GI Bill. So just reach out to me afterwards. I'll put you in touch with the right person at the University of New Mexico to kind of keep you up to speed. Hopefully that it should be accepted. I don't see why it wouldn't, but in case that there's any questions or this is how you would like to pay, please reach out to me and I will put you in touch with that person at UNM. And then again, no federal or student aid is accepted for any of our boot camps. We are not accredited, hence the reason. And then invoice. As I mentioned, invoices are issued at full price due to long approval and payment processes unless the payment can be made within 3 days. If you or your employer pay later, but it must be paid prior to the start of the course. And then we are familiar with vendor supplier forms and SF-182s. Just feel free to send that to us and we'll get you all set up with the invoice. If an invoice is issued within 2 weeks of the training, payment must be made within 5 business days, no exceptions. And then discounts. Again, I mentioned early bird discounts earlier. They are available up to 30% off and are available on a first come, first served basis. And they can be coupled with group discounts as well. The only exceptions to the early bird discounts are San Francisco, Skills Future, or the one-day trainings. Again, we offer discounts for groups of 4 or more. And no, we don't offer any corporate or government discounts or student discounts, but we do have bulk pricing for large teams. And then if your location is not listed, but you would like to commit a large team to a boot camp, send us an email. We're happy to work with you on pricing or even talk about an on-site training. Flex pay. So I know that some of you have asked us previously about the flexible payment plan. This does not include early bird discounts, but the benefit is you get to spread out the payment over 12 months. So you register with $1,000 down, and it comes with a $275 setup fee. So instead of paying the entire boot camp tuition up front, you would spread it out over 12 months. And then we do offer custom payment plans that are available for 2, 3, or 6 months, or whichever works for you. And if you can pay it off sooner, we might be able to cut down some of that cost. The great thing about this is that there's no interest. What you see is what you're paying. So it's $1,000 down and $275 setup fee, and that's it. No hidden fees, no interest, no other tax. That's it. So I hope that kind of clears up the pricing. And same thing with our other packages too. No other hidden fees at checkout. And then the flexible payment plan is offered only for the Guru package for U.S. boot camps only. And you must be a U.S. citizen with a verified bank account. And again, early bird discounts do not apply. And then moving on to registration. So, all right, so maybe some of you have considered registering for the boot camp. You've gotten approval from your company. So great. So what do you do next? How do you register? What you can do is you can go to our schedule, datasciencedojo.com/bootcamp/schedule, and you'll see a list of all of our upcoming boot camps. Just go ahead and select on one of those boot camp locations, and that will take you down to the pricing tiers where you'll find all of the boot camp packages that are offered for that specific location. What you see here is what is exactly on our schedule page. So you'll find the boot camp location, the dates that it's available, and how many seats are left at that discount tier. So for Austin, you'll notice we have one seat left at 15% off. So that is just one seat left at that discount tier. We do have more seats available, but once the seat is sold out, once the seat is sold, we'll move to our 10% discount tier, then our 5% discount tier until we move to full price. And then if you don't see your city listed here, just let us know. We have a lot of locations that are listed on our Notify Me section. So that's kind of how we determine where do we go next, which boot camp should we put on our schedule. So if you don't see your if you don't see your city listed here, just let us know. We'll consider it in the future. And then registration. So you've registered. What to expect next? Once you've registered, you should see a page with your order number. This is your confirmation number, and then it verifies that you have registered for the training. So once you've registered, you'll receive a series of emails from Data Science Dojo, and that includes your email confirmation and receipt, which also has vital information about the bootcamp, such as your order number, the venue and address of the bootcamp, and when to show up. You'll also receive an email granting you access to your Learning Portal account. So you'll need to go in and create your Learning Portal account and just make sure that you've completed all of your pre-bootcamp coursework prior to the start of the training. You'll also receive an invitation to join your cohort's chat group. And again, this is just really great to get to know your peers ahead of time. You can speak with them before, during, and even after the bootcamp is ended. And then just a nice letter from our CEO welcoming you to our bootcamp. And you can email Rasha if you have any questions, or you can reach out to Rebecca or I if you have any questions about getting started, and if you have any trouble creating your Learning Portal account. And then some FAQs. So where's the venue? You can check back in, check your confirmation email. That should have your bootcamp venue and location, the address. But if you can't find any of your emails, go back to the page where you registered and you would find a tab that shows the contact and venue form. So this will show you a map and also where the training will be held. If for any reason, maybe we filled up to capacity and registration is closed, you can also sign up for a wait list. And really, what we do for the wait list, it's not on a list basis. If a spot opens up, we open it up to everybody, and it's on a first come, first served basis. So if at noon we decide to open up the wait list, we'll let everybody on the wait list know, and whoever signs up first gets that spot. Again, this doesn't represent official academic credit, and the Data Science Bootcamp in New Mexico does grant 5 continuing education credits. Some of you may be traveling from out of town or out of country. If you do require to obtain a visa to go to the bootcamp, we can write you an invitation letter. So what we would do is we would write you a letter stating, your name, which bootcamp you plan on attending, what are the dates of the training, which bootcamp package you've registered for, or which package you plan on registering for. So just to help assist in the application process. All right, so here is one of our most frequently asked questions. Am I a good fit? Our bootcamp is specifically designed for working professionals, but it is suitable for beginners and non-programmers. Again, this is why we have the pre-bootcamp coursework. This will get you ramped up in R programming if you have no programming experience, or maybe you're new to data science altogether. I would say, we've had people attend our bootcamp from over 1,000 companies in various industries, job titles, and functions. And you're really a good fit for the bootcamp if you have data that you want to better analyze and understand in order to make better data-driven decisions. Prerequisites. We do not have any prerequisites for any of our courses. It is useful to have knowledge of at least one programming language, but definitely not necessary. We work hard to ensure that no prior statistics knowledge is required either. And make sure you go through that pre-boot camp coursework. We've seen a few people show up on the first day without completing it, and they can be a bit lost on that first day. So definitely make sure you set aside at least 6 hours of your time to go through that material. And then post-boot camp. So what happens after the boot camp? The Friday during the boot camp, during those last couple of hours, we will issue your certificate of completion, which again, you can place on your LinkedIn. And as far as employment assistance, we focus on developing professional skills, not job placement. As with only 50 hours of training, there's only so much we can teach you and so many hands-on projects you can work on. However, we do offer substantial networking opportunities and access to your learning portal. I think Rebecca mentioned some post-boot camp webinars we've just announced for our alumni, which are to be held in the future. So we understand that your learning isn't complete once the boot camp has ended. And then boot camp success stories or case studies. This is really great if you work for a startup. If you came to the boot camp to help your company get it lifted off the ground, and you were able to really implement something, let us know. We would be happy to come and film you and your team, and just get the word out there about you and your company and what you've been able to accomplish. And then more online learning. So Rebecca showed you a little bit of our learning portal Zen, and we are hoping to announce it to make it public very soon. So just keep your eyes peeled for that. And then in addition to our boot camps and our private trainings, we do offer free tutorials and talks. So you can find tutorials on natural language processing, text analytics, A/B testing on our tutorial site. And then our blog as well. We have some interesting thought pieces, tutorials, step-by-steps, and articles on our blog. And if you're interested in writing for us or getting your name out there, we'd be happy to publish you. We'd be happy to get your name out there as well. We also have an AI and machine learning for everyone group on Facebook and LinkedIn. And these are just really nice community groups. Feel free to share, any blogs you've created, any tutorials you've done. Again, we want to give you the platform and really build a bigger data science community. And then meetups. So we have 10 different meetup locations all over the world. And we actually have a meetup and a live stream tonight, which would be on experiment management for machine learning. So if you're not based in Seattle, you can still watch the meetup. Tonight, we'll host it on our tutorial site, YouTube, Facebook, pretty much anywhere we can stream this, we will share this with you. And if you're interested in coming to the meetup, we would love to meet you. Another thing with our meetups is that we are looking for co-organizers. So if you're located in any of these cities and you would like to help us expand the greater data science community, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to chat with you a bit more about some talks we could create. So where next? Where will we be holding our boot camps next? You tell us. Where would you like the boot camp to be held? So underneath the schedule, you'll find different locations that we have listed as to be announced. Some of these locations we've held boot camps at previously. Some of them we're seriously considering. So let us know which location works best for you, because we really do take that into consideration when we plan our boot camp schedule. And then if you feel like you didn't get all of your questions answered here, you can always check our FAQs at ask.datasciencedojo.com. We have pretty much every single question that's been asked to us about pricing, prerequisites, logistics, curriculum, Skills Future, data science certificate on our FAQs. Additionally, you can schedule a call with Rebecca or myself, and we'd be happy to answer some of your specific questions. If you're interested in corporate training or consulting, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help set up a call or maybe pull in our CEO and Chief Data Scientist, Raja, and we can talk about meeting your team's needs. And if you're interested in group pricing and invoicing as well, just shoot us an email and we will get you set up with that. All right, so thank you so much for hanging on to this call. I know we kind of ran over a little bit, but if you have any questions, we're happy to answer them live. Okay, it looks like we're going to pull up some of the questions that you guys asked through our chat here. So give me just one moment and I'll answer them live. Somebody just asked, does the registration include flights and accommodations? No, the tuition does not include flights and accommodations. That is solely the responsibility of the attendee. We are strictly a training company, so what we provide is what I had covered previously: the 5-day training, the lab manuals, reference books, access to the learning portal, additional exercises, breakfast, lunch, and unlimited refreshments. Okay, somebody asked if we can share the details about the data science bootcamp in Albuquerque, the data science certificate. So if you attend the 5-day data science bootcamp in Albuquerque, you'll receive a certificate of completion, which is backed by an accredited university. This does not count for academic credit, as it is a part of their continuing education program. But if you are applying for jobs or you work for a company or industry that requires continuing education credits, this is a great bootcamp for you to attend. This one will give you 5 continuing education credits. And I see somebody has just asked about job assistance or job preparation. Again, as I mentioned, we do not promise that you'll become a data scientist after completing the boot camp, and we don't specifically focus on job placement or job assistance. We do focus on getting you ramped up to speed, getting you hands-on with real-world data science projects and problem solving. And this will help you to prepare for other hands-on projects maybe that you want to work on or want to solve. And a great way to build up your data science portfolio is by going through Kaggle. If you create an account on Kaggle, you could work on a variety of different real-world data science problems. And this is really great to help build up your portfolio. In addition to that, we did offer recently a data science interviews Ask Me Anything. So we kind of went over some of the typical data science interview questions, the different sort of data scientist, data analyst, business analyst questions you would expect. And I think we can share a link with you. You can find the recorded video on our tutorial site. And then we also have a blog, 101 Data Science Interview Questions. Somebody has just asked, so what is the most obvious difference between a data scientist and a data analyst? Again, I don't know that this is the right platform to ask that question, but what you can do is you can check out our Ask Me Anything recorded video on our tutorial site. That will kind of clarify some of the mix-ups between data scientists and data analyst. With a data analyst, you're doing a lot of exploratory work, whereas a data scientist, you're kind of working through, all of those different modules, all of those different tools and techniques. All right, so it doesn't appear that we have any more questions. I hope that we were able to answer all or most of your questions. And for those of you who still aren't quite sure, please reach out to us. We'd be happy to set you up on a call with an instructor or an advisor to answer your specific questions. Thank you guys so much for joining us. There will be an edited recording of this webinar sometime early next week, so we'll be sure to email that to you. And thanks for watching. Hope to see you at a boot camp soon. Take care and bye-bye.